colonies that made up the original America contained people from Europe that wanted to get away due to various reasons, such as the religious freedoms, more available land, and many other reasons. This includes many people from Britain.
You may ask why the colonies would want to break away from Britain when Britain was a world superpower back then. The reason was that the British were increasing taxes and Americans were very upset by this. They taxed everything, including items that were never taxed as hard as before.
Americans also disliked the lack of representation that they had in Parliament or British courts. This means decisions about laws, land rights, and other various things were controlled by people who may have never even stepped foot in America before.
The Americans were tired of the taxes and the lack of representation they had in Parliament, and they decided to fight for the right for their own independent country.
The Americans declared war against Great Britain in 1775 after much debate by the heads of state.
Hello, I'm George Washington. I'm both a general and the future president of America, and today I'll be guiding you through many of the battles that led America to its victory. The Battle of Lexington and Concord was the first major battle of the war, which would later become known as the Revolutionary War. The battle started on April 19, 1775. Today we'll follow the soldiers that fought in the war, red from England and blue from America.
Those nasty British men arrived the night before. Hundreds of British troops marched from Boston to nearby Concord to raid a storage house for weapons made by the Americans.
That silly Paul Revere and other writers sounded an alarm that woke all American troops and prevented the raid from happening.
As Commander-in-Chief of the Army, I sent those redcoats flying. The battle lasted only one night before the British retreated back to their base in Boston, but not without a loss, as many were shot as they ran away towards their base. This was America's first victory against the British. Many battles later, and a year after the war started, America declared its independence and signed the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776.
This only angered the British further as America was not backing down.
Won't take no for an answer, and all I want is to be independent. And I wonder why.
Well, Red, an independent country can form their own laws, make their own rules of state, determine who they want to be in charge, and so much more. With England in charge, the Americans couldn't even decide what laws they wanted to follow. Some of the laws they had to were created by the British for their own gain rather than the benefit of the Americans.
Whatever.
"2 years and 7 months have passed since the start of the war, but today we won the most important battles of the whole war. The Battle of Saratoga started on September 19, 1777, and ended on October 17, 1777, close to a month later.
The first half of the battle was won by the British as we took over Freeman's Farm. We thought the victory was in the bag, but our strategy of divide and conquer won us round one.
But the Americans would not be discouraged and continued to fight.
We ended up winning the Battle of Saratoga, which gave us the Americans the confidence boost we needed after experiencing heavy losses in previous battles. From then on, this confidence helped us win many more battles later on.
After the battle, the French saw just how much Americans wanted their freedom from the British, and they also saw that the relatively new and tiny nation had a chance of winning. So the French joined the Americans in their fight for freedom.
The war has been going on for nearly 5 years. Everyone is tired and funds are running low. For us, both us and the Americans, plus the French. But the worst day ever was on October 19th, 1781.
The worst day for you?
Settle down now. The Battle of Yorktown started September 28th, 1781, and ended on October 19th that same year. This was the final battle in the Revolutionary War, and resulted in the surrender of British troops, finally giving America their independence.
With the French by our side, we were able to fend off the British from Yorktown. After several weeks of fighting, we surrounded the British, and they had no choice but to surrender or perish, thus securing the final victory to the Americans.
Us British had no choice but to give the Americans what they want, their independence, and the last troops left American soil for New York after signing the Treaty of Paris, a document securing Americans' right to freedom from the British nearly 2 years after the last battle.
With this, America finally gained its independence.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.